Hey, Bruce Feldman, pleased to be joined by one of the stars of this great season going on for the Oregon State Beavers, Jack Colletto. He has become, I don't know, folk hero, cult hero. What are we going to say here, Jack?
I've become something. That's what I've become. And that's what I'm sticking with.
It's
I don't know. You can call me whatever.
It's been pretty awesome to see what's gone on there for Jonathan Smith's program. For you, you came in from junior college. So when did you first kind of connect with this program?
It was actually kind of funny because I was going to a Red Robin and I ended up getting the phone call that I got an offer here. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of crazy because, I got an offer from Vanderbilt. So I was basically deciding between those two schools. And when I saw Coach Smith get the head coaching job, I was like, man, Oregon State would be such a great spot, especially all the guys he brought on. So he extended the offer out, took a visit, and that's basically when I made my decision to come here. And that was in 2018. Yeah.
So you've seen this thing kind of take some turns and have this breakout year. What has it been like? When did you realize, hey, I really think we're going to start surprising people soon?
I think it's really during the offseason this year, because starting in the 2018 year, definitely there was the start of the rebuild process that we needed to go through. And even through the 2019 year, I mean, we were progressing and trending in the right direction, but I don't think we were quite there yet, even though some of the pieces were. But this was a year where I was like, okay, I think we actually really have some potential to make some noise this year.
When you come in, you played a lot of quarterback, right? And then is it just, hey, wherever the team needs me, or you always been kind of a linebacker at heart playing quarterback, you think?
It's actually funny because when I met with Coach Smith to do the switch to linebacker, he sat there and he's like, have you even ever played linebacker? I was like, well, I played safety in high school, so I never played linebacker in my life. But I was talking to my uncle, and he's the one who taught me how to play safety in high school. So I was like, okay, well, let's go over the whole install over the summer and learn that. So understanding that I had him in my back pocket, I was more confident in the switch and stuff like that. And so once they were able to see my skill set and what I could do, then everything kind of started falling together. And then of course the offense was, well, we still have your package. And I said, well, I mean, I'll do that too. And it kind of expanded to this thing where I was like, I'll just do whatever to play.
So how do you budget your time in terms of all the stuff they can do with you reps wise and learning a bunch of different things? Because it's not just offense, it's not just defense, it's special teams, it's 2-point plays and different things like that. So how does that work for you?
Well, the thing that was nice about playing quarterback was you kind of had to understand what everybody was doing. So it was a pretty smooth transition into fullback and stuff like that. And I still kind of understood what the offense and the scheme. So I already had that in my back pocket. Then it was just transitioning and switching over and understanding the defense. And then once I kind of had both of that, then it's just kind of seeing trends and patterns and what people try to do and how to attack you. So I try to put everything together into big schemes. So it's not just me trying to memorize a million different things.
So if you get a 9 overtime game where teams don't have a lot of 2-point plays, we're going to see a lot of hammer jack for the Beavers, I assume.
Oh yeah, I'll tell Coach Smith. I said, put me in, man. Let's get this going.
How many different kind of plays do you have stuff in your head where you're like, man, I'd like them to do this with me or anything like that?
Yeah, put me at left tackle a little bit, center, a little drive block and stuff. I'd love for that to happen.
So you're what, 6'3", 240?
Yeah, perfect size for O-line.
How many different positions do you think you actually could play in a game and kind of get by at?
What do you mean by get by at?
Well, obviously you play quarterback. You can play both running back spots. You could be a tight end. You could be a receiver. Could you be? You'd probably be big enough to be a defensive end, on some situations, right?
Yeah, rush off the edge. And then, I mean, if I did lose a little bit of weight, play strong safety, cover tight ends and stuff like that. My leg sucks. I cannot kick field goals or punt. So I did try long snapping for a little bit, but I think my hamstrings are a little too tight for that one.
Fortunately, with all the time, you don't have a hefty major to kind of navigate, right? So,
yeah, right.
So yeah, let's get in that for a second. So you are a mechanical engineering major, which is a big deal. Is it like literally like rocket science?
Well, that's just one of the classes I decided to take, which is unfortunate because it was an elective and it was the only one that fit my schedule. So I said, sure, I can do this. And then first lecture, of course, I didn't understand anything that was going on. So yeah, trying to figure it out though, slowly but surely.
For people who see the name, especially if you're older like me, you're like Colletto, not that common of a name. I remember Jim Colletto, the Purdue coach. Uh, can you clear it up? Any connection?
So Jim Colletto is my second cousin. I mean, we know each other. We've never like met in person, but we stay in contact sometimes. And my dad's big on the whole family side and that. So he played at UCLA, coached for a long time, coached at Purdue as well. Actually, he reached out to me after the Ohio State game, which was my first college game in 2018. And that's when we started to kind of connect and stuff like that. So it's been cool to build a connection with him.
I imagine he was an old O-line coach by trade. I imagine to see the way you play probably really resonates with him. No?
I mean, I think so. I hope so. I mean, we haven't really gone in that depth of conversation yet, but
So you guys have a game against Cal this week and a chance to go 6-2. You're in first place in the Pac-12 North. What do you think when you look at, is it just, hey, let's just take 1 week at a time, or how do you kind of manage the hype? Because people, have seen what Jonathan has done. Obviously, they know him from when he was a terrific player there. I mean, how do you personally you want to embrace it and live in the moment, but at the same time, how do you balance it?
I think it's definitely having a time where you can enjoy and accept the win, but there also needs to become a time where you transition and understand the process and what it takes to win. And, of course, Saturday, you're celebrating the win, especially me. And then Sunday, you're enjoying the win as well. But it's like once that Monday hits, then it's become time to start to transition to the next week and the next opponent. And really, it needs to be a week by week approach. I mean, we had goals for this season. We knew what we wanted to do, and we're on track to being able to do those things. We just can't get distracted by any outside noise.
How does Hammerjack celebrate a win on Saturday in the Pac-12?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on this. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that right now. But I have a good time.
Are we going to see down the road you are going to be a little bit like the famed West Virginia specialist Pat McAfee and have kind of a iconic brand emerge from your football stardom?
That's a goal. Definitely something I'd like to do and expand upon.
So how do you make that happen beyond just being yourself and kind of cultivating kind of the stardom a little bit, especially in the social media age?
I think it starts with becoming great friends with you, because I feel like you're a type of guy who's got great connections, knows a lot of people, and then go from there. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've kind of reached a connection because of the cool nickname, because of the way you play? It's kind of, I remember a couple of years ago, Iowa State had a really good quarterback. He shifted to linebacker. Now this guy was like a state champion wrestler. He's a super tough guy, and kind of, helped them. He was a cornerstone to what Matt Campbell built there. I feel like there's some of the same potential, maybe different kind of way, but similar way to be a real building block for what is going on in Corvallis. So how do you kind of take it beyond that?
Man, you're asking all the good questions.
Well, I know you're like a 3.9, and you're definitely the smartest person in this conversation. So I'm going to lean on you.
Think so?
Oh, I know. So I went to junior college. I went to junior college and I did not major in mechanical engineering. Let's put it that way.
Really? What'd you major in?
I was an art major for a little while.
Okay.
I could draw a good cartoon of you. I can't make it very poignant. That's the only thing. It's been an awesome story. I had one of your teammates on last week or a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about like kind of his 2 degrees of separation of every big time basketball figure in the basketball world now. Mr. Grant, who's like kind of, I feel like another cornerstone piece of what Jonathan's got going there. But it's been really neat as somebody on the West Coast to see. It feels like the Oregon State story is kind of like one that is constantly surprising people, and it's been kind of a nice journey to go on and see it. So best of luck this weekend against Cal. I'm sure we're going to hear more of you as you guys. I don't want to go too far down the road, but there's a big game at Oregon that's probably going to happen not too far away, that I think we're all going to be excited to see how that plays out.
Oh yeah, be ready for Cal and get after it 1 week at a time.
We know you will. All right, Jack, great having you on today.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. Take care.
You too.
Thanks.